Hi, this is Dave Hurwitz at ClassicsToday.com, here to talk to you about another in our ongoing series of fillers, small works that never get the attention that they deserve, but that everybody loves and that get played and added to recordings as something to fill out the time that takes the CD up to an hour or so, or maybe a little more. Today we are talking about George Enescu's Romanian Rhapsody number 1. Now, everybody loves the Romanian Rhapsody number 1. He wrote 2 of them. Nobody cares about the Romanian Rhapsody number 2, which is really a shame because it's very beautiful. But the problem is that the Romanian Rhapsody number 1 is full of fire and brilliance and gypsy fiddling and all the stuff that you think Romanian Rhapsodies are supposed to be. Whereas number 2 is almost entirely lyrical and soulful and quiet. And it's extraordinarily beautiful and romantic. It only has one little quick bit at the end, at the very end, quietly, almost a memory of Rhapsody number 1. And so nobody pays any attention to it. And it's a terrible shame. You should hear them both. However, number 1 is the one that gets played. Enescu, of course, was horribly annoyed that he became a one-piece composer. And what annoyed him even more was the fact that really none of the rest of his music, even the very Romanian stuff, sounds like the Romanian Rhapsody number 1, which is what everybody expected. So I kind of, my heart went out to him. It really does. He was a musical prodigy, a genius of the first rank, and a composer who loved writing music with lots and lots of notes. If you look at his scores, especially the non-Romanian Rhapsody scores, things like the symphonies and whatnot, you just see that they're festooned with busy little contrapuntal parts and things. And that's one of the things that makes his music, quite frankly, difficult, his larger works, his more serious works. They're also extremely virtuosic, and technically difficult for the performers. So, other than the Romanian Rhapsody number 1, I think probably the only work that we hear regularly is the chamber piece, the third violin sonata in the popular Romanian style, which is very different sounding, even though it's supposedly in the popular Romanian style. Now, the best recording, and I mean the best recording of the Romanian Rhapsody number 1 is this one, Constantin Silvestri with the Czech Philharmonic on Supraphon. It's a mono recording, but a very good sounding mono recording. What makes Silvestri's performance so special, and he did re-record it in stereo in Vienna, but not as well as the one that he did here, is first of all, the fact that at this point in the 50s, the Czech Philharmonic had the most extraordinarily wonderful sounding solo woodwinds, which have, all those little melodic bits at the beginning of the piece. And my God, they sound great. And then they had a general orchestral sonority similar to what French orchestras do, and like nothing blends with anything else, which you want in this music because the strings have all kinds of fun sort of gypsy fiddly figuration, but it usually gets lost between, the brass chords and the percussion bashing away. But here you can hear the strings doing their thing throughout while the brass still cut through with the necessary elan. And then there's Silvestri. One of the great conductors who never had the career he should have. Sadly, he passed away of cancer, really in the prime of his life. But he was an absolutely wonderful musician. He's similar, I think, to Sándor Vég and some of those Hungarian musicians too, the Eastern European musicians who just had, the soul of music, and they poured it into everything that they played. Now, of course, Enescu was his countryman. He knew the music as well as anybody possibly could. And this is one of those recordings where everything simply goes as well as it possibly could. Now, the couplings are, this is a collection of everything Silvestri did with the Czech Philharmonic, so we don't have a lot of choice about what you get with it. It comes with a very, very fine Ravel Rhapsody Espagnole. So you may find that equally revelatory in its combination of fire and instrumental detail. It's beautiful. And the Lalo Cello Concerto, very, very well played by Andre Navarra, assuming somebody cares about the Lalo Cello Concerto. I have to confess, it is not one of my top 2,000 or 3,000 works. But, it doesn't make any difference. If you can find this super fun recording of the Romanian Rhapsodies, conducted by Constantin Silvestri, you really should simply snap it up. It will amaze you in terms of, the quality of the music. Enescu was such a craftsman. He put such detail into everything he did. Even these supposedly light works, they're written with such care and such a keen ear for sonority and style. Give it a shot. See what you think, and keep on listening. Thank you very much.